How are we doing, Fran? Excuse me. I'm not feeling all too well at the moment, so I'm struggling a little bit with my voice. But let's get you through. Let's see what we've got. Let's have a look at some of this bench. Okay, yeah, good. Grip looks okay. I'm liking this position a bit more. Now, so we've really got to focus on the breathing. Okay, so if you look at your tummy in this one, tummy's just forever moving. Okay, you're breathing relatively normally. Okay, and also bar trajectory, bar path. Okay, so in terms of when we're in that starting position, okay, you want the arms a little further back, okay, you want to be directly over the shoulders, okay, this position here, directly over, you'll hold that all day, alright, that's a strong position, no issues, okay, so just it being a little bit further out in front is just going to start the whole process off just that ½ inch further forward than we need it to be. Now, the bench press is pretty much the only movement where we don't want you travelling in a direct straight line. Just by the way the shoulder works and the way the pec minor kind of pec major run across here, we want you to go in a little bit of an arch. So you're going to see some terrible drawing by me now. But if we're to bring down from here, we kind of want the bar path to kind of go down in sort of like almost like a crescent kind of shape. We want it to kind of be in a half moon. All right. So let's just have a look at that bar trajectory. So what you've got there is you started off a little bit out in front, okay, and you've ended up quite low. The actual sort of trajectory is okay, but you want to be forever driving the bar back towards the top of the rack, okay? You want to be pushing this way, back here, okay? So you can have the elbows lead out in front of the bar ever so slightly, not a lot. But even if we just had it there, elbows just tucked in that little bit more, and then when you drive, you're pushing back this way, back towards the rack. Okay, that's where the leg drive is going to come into it once we start incorporating that in properly. But bringing it down, kind of in that half crescent where you're here, shoulders back and down. It's down and it's back up. Okay, and you're going down through that motion because basically, as you push up stronger and stronger, you're getting into this stronger position here with the shoulders and the pec minor able to overlap a little bit. Whereas when you press straight up, there's a point of where you begin to lose tension through here, and the shoulders take a little bit of a battering. Well, we'll just have a look at it. We'll just have a look at the bench videos as they go through and see if there's anything. See if it's a theme. Right, squats. Okay, elbows looking a little better. Yep, really want to try and get them neutral with the bar if we can. Okay, let's have a look. So, as with all of these, the angle is always going to be a little bit misleading just because of the way that the camera's positioned if it's not perfectly side on. Okay, so we still ended up that little bit over the toe. Now again, I think the angle of the video is kind of exaggerating this a little bit, but it's still quite toe dominant. Okay, and it was even worse than this than when we had the heels on that everything was flying forward. I think just as a general rule, you are going to be a quad dominant squatter. It's not the end of the world, but like we did in that video the other day, we want to try and reduce the gap between these two angles as much as possible. Now I feel like you've reduced it at the knee quite a bit. We just need to keep the chest up nice and tall and keep those knees turned out so that those angles don't get any bigger throughout the squat. Okay, keep your big toe pinned down. I can see on a couple of these the big toes rising up just as you start the actual squat. You can see down here big toes kind of moving all over the place. When you time it right, you actually get quite a good kick out of the bottom. It's not bad. It is just timing it. Right, now this is the one where you're having a bit of trouble sitting back more. Yeah, so the issues creeping in here with that lower back flexion is coming in through not taking the slack out the bar. Okay, so on bollocks. So on that one, the arms bent, the shoulders dipped forward, and the slack wasn't taken out of the bar. Okay, so you were set down lower than this, but I've stopped it just after. So this is where your shoulders have ended up, okay, quite way over the bar. We don't need them quite so far, okay, they are always going to be in front, but we just need to bring that back a little bit. You need to keep your chest up tall, okay. If you've got a necklace on, show it off. I think what we've got a little bit off here is because you've got that, you're looking forward, way up towards the rack the whole time, it may be sort of convincing you that your chest is higher than it is. So try to keep a neutral spine position, okay. Keep through here and look down at the front of the platform out in front of you, okay. Keeps you neutral, and you're a bit more aware then of where the chest's pointing because your eyes are in line with it as well, and you're able to kind of bring everything up with it. Again, it's just when people, I got no issues with people kind of getting their head up. There's, you know, no big deal to me whatsoever. But you've got to be able to kind of differentiate between the two. And basically what it is, it's just not taking the slack out the bar, okay. It's trying to build tension as you pull, so you end up in sort of like a bit of a stiff leg deadlift position. So let's have a look. Okay, so in this position here, okay, pretty much, so we've got rounding of the upper back. So if we extend that angle out to there, by this point the knee angle's almost completely open. Shoulders are still now even further in front of the bar, and the lower back is the only thing that can just like lever you back and almost like pendulum you backwards. And like I said, it's all stemming from not taking that slack out the bar. So when you're down in that bottom position, okay, even for this week, if you drop it down a little bit, I'll make a couple of edits to the program, but it's grab hold of the bar, okay, pull on it as hard as you possibly can. Pull on it without the bar leaving the floor. Just keep pulling, and then push the legs into the floor, okay. That way then this kind of pendulum effect does kick off, like the hips push through and the shoulders rise at the same time, rather than hips rising and chest stays down towards the floor. Oh, not very well, sorry. So you, like on that one, for example, you set yourself up in a really nice position. Like, this is great. This is awesome. Look, if you see here, like, look how much closer you are to the center of the bar. Got a big angle at the hips. And big angle at the knees. Okay, be about here at this point. This is great. Okay, but if we move it on to where you actually pull the bar from. Okay, now by the time the bar's moved, this is the position we've actually ended up in. Again, I really think it's all coming down. So hips have shot up, back's rounded over, head still looking forward here. Okay, so we've got this hyperextension there through the cervical spine. So you can see kind of the red lines there is where we've ended up, and yellow is where you started. Okay, so it's just about being patient. Be really, really patient with it. Okay, and again, get that slack out of the bar so there's no kind of surprises to leverages, and there's no kind of surprises to any of the muscular system. But look at this, it's awesome. This is great. Better, slightly better, but you can get yourself in that position. And again, that one was hips up very high. So your lower back is happy doing a lot of work. Good. In general, much cleaner set of bench. Much cleaner. Still really got to focus on that one. It was kind of unrack and start. Straight in one movement, okay? Again, patience. Relax, okay? Bring it out. Shoulders down. Back. Then you can start, okay? Because what we're kind of looking for, okay, is once we eventually start putting in some proper leg drive into the movement, right? This is what's going to happen. So at the moment, little bit of an arch. there, chest, okay, but the shoulders are kind of free flowing here at the moment. So what you've done is you've set your neck down properly, neck flat. That builds up tension down towards the shoulders, the upper chest and shoulders. Right, now your legs at this point, whether you know you're doing it or not, are going to be holding some tension. The fact that your feet are on the floor and your quads of flex and extend, well, flex and extension here through the knee, that's going to be creating its own force from the floor. Now what that's going to do in turn is that is going to create this position here. Okay, the only way you're able to build up that upper chest position is by these 2 points meeting in the middle. So by unracking the bar, bringing the shoulders down and back, you've already given yourself a good solid base for this position to grow bigger throughout the movement. And then by keeping the toes dug right in towards the end of the shoe, that force that's coming through the legs again is just going to help extend that, just that maybe that little bit further. And again, it's just going to put you in a better position going forward. So that's like a visual kind of representation of what we're trying to do from both ends, and let the chest and the arms and the shoulders do what they need to do. It's just you want to be supporting it from both sides so that when that force meets in the middle, you're able to drive up that a little bit better. But overall, much better. Just patience, shoulders down and back every time. Okay. Much cleaner squat. Nice. Awesome. Much better compared to the other one. Elbows are neutral. Good. Such a better set. Oh my god. So much better. Okay, so with that one, elbows in line with the body. Awesome. Okay, so we're talking from the bar. This is big open hips, big open knees, strong angles. That's beautiful. Much better. Much better. And I know at this point you said you were feeling a bit rough, like mentally exhausted, and that's the strength game, you know what I mean? But how it's feeling and how it's looking physically, you're looking better as it goes. Now let's have a look at these deadlifts. Yeah, I think some more paused work is going to be on the cards for you. Just looks so much cleaner. Like you can see the difference. And so like when I looked down before and broke down that deadlift before, everything, you're staying in that correct position all the way through. Here, shoulders just out in front, just a little bit. Awesome. Big open hip there. Big open angle at the hips, whereas before your legs would have already been sort of like halfway extended by this point. Your chest would have fallen down to the floor. 100 times better. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the program. Right, week 4. Let's make some changes for you, eh? So now you've got some pause RDLs. Right, I'm going to change up your second squat session. We're going to put some little bit of tempo work in there. Not a huge amount. Okay, we're just going to trial it for a week and just kind of see how. Now with the tempo, it hasn't got to be a specific number. Okay, it hasn't got to be like 4 seconds down or else. Okay, it's just learn to really focus on controlling yourself on the way down. Focus on the knees turning out, okay, and sitting in between. Let the big legs do the work, yeah? Don't overthink it. Okay, just under control. Okay, right. Right, now what we're going to do is we're going to let you open up for that top triple. Normal deadlifts. And then you're going to go to some pause deads. Same position. We're just going to knock that RPE down just for that day. I don't want you going crazy on those, especially as the 2 sessions will almost have them back to back. Now, here's one for you. I'm going to highlight this in yellow. If you know you can get 4 sessions in this week, move pause deads to day 4 and put in leg extensions on day 3. Okay? Okay, so those two are to be alternated if possible, just for the sake of your lower back. Okay, I think what we'll do is it's the pieces are coming together now in terms of what we need to work on. Pause deadlifts and just slowing everything down. Some tempo work, some pause work is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, because you have a lot more strength than you're able to put down at the moment, and there's certain things that are kind of just you're not being able to kind of express your strength because some of the positioning's a little off from the get-go. So some of the positionings are a little off from the get-go, so it's really difficult to kind of get that ball rolling and actually express it at the end because it's not quite there. Now we're going to bump. Because the RPE is coming down. Just going to alternate those two a little bit again. Just don't want you overdoing it on those and being pushed too far. Okay, have a look at that for me, Fran. Again, if you can alternate those two, awesome. If you can't get that 4th day in, just keep the pause deadlifts above the knee on day 3. Any issues as always, let me know. Keep the footage coming. It's been brilliant. See you soon.